Like this. Can you see?
You can't see it no way.
Okay.
What's up, guys? How you doing tonight? Welcome to Jus Piddlin BBQ Live, the weekly Wednesday night show. Good to see everybody. My dear brother, first one in the house tonight. Good stuff. Mike Tabor, good to have you. Stephen Manis, good to see you. And I'm going to give you a shout out in just a minute. Let me hit everybody else real quick. Mike Tabor, Stephen, Austin, good to have you, man. Who else we got? Elvin, good to have you.
That's it.
Okay. Cooper the Great, good to have you tonight as well. Right off the bat, before we get into anything else, I want to give a shout out to Stephen because he has been waiting forever, seems like, ever since I've known him, for a pancreas transplant. And he gets the call today on his birthday. First of all, happy birthday, Stephen. But he gets a call today while he's fishing that his transplant is ready. How quick can you get here? We're going to do it this afternoon. So late tonight, Stephen is going to be getting a pancreas transplant, and obviously we'll be recovering for a little while, but congratulations to Stephen, number one. Number two, everybody in the Jus Piddlin nation, let's give him a big shout out and a big prayer that everything goes well, which I'm sure it will, and there's going to be a speedy recovery. So Stephen, prayers to you, brother, and hope things go well. Please keep us updated once you're able to. Everybody stay tuned on Facebook and all that stuff to Stephen, and let's make sure that we give some updates and stuff like that. I know if I get updated, I'll be sure to relay that on my channel to all you guys. So good stuff on Stephen's part. Very happy for him. That's awesome news. So good to see that. Mark, good evening. Good to have you. So again, Stephen, prayers to you, man. I'm glad that's working out, and keep us updated as soon as you can. Ain't that the truth, Mike? That's dedication right there. Dave C., good to have you. Good to see you tonight. How much longer until your vacation? Well, we're gonna talk about that here in just a minute. We're counting down the days, that's for sure. Let's give a quick channel update, and then we'll get started with all the other stuff. I know it, and we appreciate it too, Stephen. He's always on vacation. I figure it wouldn't take him long to chime in. Subscribers, 4,386. So it's climbing on up. Seems like it was just yesterday we were at 4,000. Now we're 386 more. So who won the mug competition? Elvin, we don't need to talk about that. That's up for debate. That's up for debate.
Thank you, Elvin.
Smoke Midwest Barbecue. Good to have you tonight. Glad to see you. Welcome. Just unpacked my pit barrel cooker to add with my Silverbac. Can't wait to cook some ribs on it. Dave, great. You're going to enjoy that. That thing is a rib cooker, no doubt about it. We've done ribs. We've done a pork butt on it. We've done wings on it. What else? Turkey. Smoked the whole turkey on it. We've done chicken quarters, chicken halves actually on it. And I mean, everything turns out great. I haven't done a single thing to it except taking it out of the box and used it just how the directions said. So, I mean, they've done a lot of research. They built it to work right out of the box. So just trust it, enjoy yourself, and enjoy that cooker because it's a good one. That's for sure. Live from WJPB. Absolutely, Mark. I love ribs in my PBC. There is a difference with it for sure. There is a difference, and I love it. I love the way it hangs over the hot coals, and those juices drip on the hot coals and send that back up, and just love it. And it's a simple design. That's what I love about it the most. So that's good stuff. Absolutely, Mark. Just posted a video today, this afternoon, about an hour and a half ago, sometime around there, on how to maintain your temps on your Kamado Joe. Now, that's going to also apply to any kind of, for the most part, any kind of kettle cooker as well. Really, any kind of ceramic. It should apply to most of them. But I just happen to have a Kamado Joe, so I did it on that. But so far, it's got over 100 views in the first hour, so that's pretty good. And I hope it helps people out. I've had some questions about that and all that stuff. Got my mug about a week ago, and for some reason, my coffee tastes better. You guys should put that. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
I'm glad you like it, Elvin.
Eddie Hanks, good to have you tonight, brother. How about all these pellet grill grease fires we've been seeing on pellet pages? That's a great comment, and we're going to touch on that a little bit too. Because I've got a theory. Eddie, I bet your theory is probably about the same as mine is, and probably about the same as Harley's is. But we'll see. But I do have a theory about that, and we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. And I did mention Eddie Hanks also in that latest video about how to maintain temps on a Kamado Joe. Eddie really well. Yeah, Eddie does really well with that ceramic that he has with the Kong, and so a lot of good tips over there with Eddie on Facebook. Could be rant of the night coming up, Cooper. John, good to have you tonight. Mr. John, always enjoy having him on the show. Absolutely. Thoughts and best wishes for Stephen. Absolutely. What else? Real quick. We got visors in. Brandy's got the patches sewn on. We'll show you those. These are going to be put on the website by tomorrow morning. So we've got a green, Kelly green. We've got a driftwood, which is kind of a khaki / olive drab color. We have a bright orange with the logo, and they're calling a mango orange, which is a darker orange. We've got 4 of those visors. Those will be on the website by tomorrow morning for $18. Hand sewn patches by yours truly over here. She does a great job with that. We still have this hat that's just like this one that's on the website right now. So good looking hat there too. Now,
Mark's got to go.
Have to head out. My son needs help fixing his lawnmower. Hey, family first, Mark. Cheers, brother, and thank you for joining us. There is a little hang up with the visors and the hat. However, tomorrow morning we leave to go to my hometown around Nashville, Tennessee for the next 4 days. So if they are ordered, I can't get them shipped out until Monday. So the earliest that they'll ship out is Monday, but as soon as I can get them shipped Monday morning, that's when they'll ship out. So feel free. After tomorrow morning, they'll be on there. Go ahead and order them. I'm going to have to do it tonight, but it'll be late after the show tonight when I get them on. But tomorrow morning, they'll be on the website. So feel free to order those. I'll get them shipped on Monday as soon as I can. So appreciate you guys for all the merchandise and stuff that we've got going on there.
Smiley's in the house.
Wearing my JPB hat right now.
Mm-hmm. He's going to ask. He can wear it through.
That's what I'm talking about, Stephen. That's good stuff.
Surgery.
Delana, good to have you tonight. Good to have you on the show. They need to have a pellet grill safety class before you can buy it. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%, Austin. Smiley, good to have you, brother. Pickles Barbecue, good to have you. Good to have you. After the video today on the Kamado Joe, because we already had it fired up. I really didn't have anything planned to cook, but we had some bacon in there, so we went ahead and cooked a little bacon and had some little bacon bites for snack mid-afternoon today. What else? No Sunday show for the next 2 Sundays. I know some of you you're not going to know what to do Sunday, and I probably won't either. But this Sunday, obviously, we're going to be returning from Tennessee, and then next Sunday we will be starting our vacation. 2 days into our vacation in Mexico. So next Saturday. When are we leaving? Next Saturday?
We're leaving on the 6th. This is Saturday.
Saturday. Next Saturday morning, early Saturday morning, we got to leave the house at about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, flying out of Jacksonville, Florida, going to Atlanta, connecting there, and then headed to Cancun Airport, and then taking a ferry over to Isla Mujeres. And we should be in Isla Mujeres about lunchtime Saturday. So hopefully I can try to do some live stuff and it'll work. I can figure it out and I can post some stuff like that from Mexico on YouTube. So that'll be pretty cool. Who else? East Wind Farms. Good to have you, man. Rick, good to have you.
My girl.
Rhonda, good to have you tonight.
See what she wrote.
This may not be big for some, but I cooked rice on the ironwood tonight.
How'd it turn out?
Awesome. How did it turn out? And I always love seeing people cook stuff on their pellet smokers that is not just meat. I mean, I love the meat, but I like somebody doing being a little adventurous and cooking other stuff too. So that's good stuff. If people would just watch the Jus Piddlin, how to safely, I'm telling you, I've shared it about 5 times again this week, Austin. Let's see. We cooked up some thick cut bacon with Traeger big game rub. It was a hit. Man, I'm telling you. And that's what I put on the bacon today on the Kamado Joe. And I don't know what it is now about bacon on a pellet smoker, but it's way better than any other grill I've ever cooked bacon on. I don't know how it does or what it does, but the bacon off of a pellet smoker is amazing. And then when you hit it with that big game rub, it's on another level. So good stuff. Joe Smokehouse and Barbecue, good to have you, man. Harley, would you happen to know how many inches wider the Ironwood 885 is than the 650? That's a good question. Ron says that rice was really good. It was the yellow rice with seasoning in the bag. I've had that before. That's good stuff. What else? Smiley says, great job, Rhonda. Elvin, as far as barrel size, he doesn't. I still need to try the pizza. Easy Bake Barbecue. Hello and good to have you tonight. All right, we got a couple questions that I need to answer. And first off, let's go back to what Eddie Hanks mentioned. He mentioned that there's a lot of grease fires on pellet smokers. Grease fires on pellet smokers. All over Ron B., good to have you. Jus Piddlin tacos from Mexico. That's a good idea. What was I saying? Oh, the grease fires on the pellet smokers. And it seems like every time you get on Facebook and one of these Facebook groups now, somebody has had a fire in their pellet smoker. I have personally had I think 6 pellet smokers. I currently own 4 pellet smokers, and I've never had a grease fire. I almost had 1 grease fire out of 6 pellet smokers, and I currently own 4. And I can't tell you how many cooks that equates to, but it's a ton. It's a lot of cooks. Why is that? This is just my opinion. I think, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to give a percentage. I would say, I'm just going to be conservative and say 75%. I would say 75% of all issues, not just grease fires, but all issues, I would say 75% of those issues are caused by user error. What do I mean by user error? What I mean is either A, and this is probably the biggest one, either A, they did no homework before they went and bought a pellet grill. These folks that are buying pellet grills think that they can just go out. They think it's as simple as a gas grill. You know, you can just go out and pick one up anywhere and just, I mean, you just fire it up, you hit the igniter, poof, and you know, everything works fine. A gas grill is way simpler than a pellet smoker. You can just go to Walmart or anywhere and buy a barbecue grill, a kettle grill, and you throw some charcoal in there, maybe douse it with some lighter fluid, throw you a match in there, and throw you some burgers on there. You know. By the way, I don't recommend a lighter fluid, but you get what I'm saying. It's not that simple. And so the first thing that people are doing wrong is they're not doing enough research. Before I bought my first pellet grill was the Grilla Grills Silverbac. That was my first pellet grill. I had never really been around but one pellet grill, and that was a Louisiana that Harley owned. And I had been around it maybe twice. Had no idea about it. But by the time that Grilla Silverbac made it to my door, I knew what a backburn was into my hopper. I knew what a flame out was and what caused it, and I knew what to do about it when I did have a flame out. I knew how the auger operated. I knew how the pellets got into the fire pot. I knew that I understood that it was a wood fire. I understood all those things because I did research. Harley gets asked questions all the time. Harley even got a question the other day, and you know, I don't want to, put him in a bind, but someone asked the other day after it was something like, after it gets started, can you take the pellets out, and that electric burner down in the bottom, that's what's going to create the heat for the rest of the cook, right? I mean, these people think that there's an electric burner down there, that it's an electric oven or something. It's a wood fire. They don't understand. They can't fit in their brain that it's an actual wood fire that you're trying to keep burning down there. That's what that controller's job is to try to keep that fire burning. And it's a lot more difficult than people think it is. And so that's number one. They don't understand how it works. They haven't done their research. Number two, they still want to cook on a pellet smoker the way they cook on their gas grill, on their charcoal grill. I see this all the time too. They went and got some burgers, and they have fired their pellet smoker up to 500 degrees, and they've thrown 20 Bubba burgers on their grill, and they have had a grease fire. All right. Well, for, look, at least for me, the way that I cook on a pellet smoker is way different, almost opposite from the way I cook. Like I say, I had a gas grill for 9 years. Cooked a lot of good food on it. But the way I cook on my pellet smoker is opposite of way I cook on my gas grill. That gas grill was a legitimate grill. Pellet smokers are more of a smoker than a high temp grill. And so these people that get these pellet smokers but still want to fire them up to 500 degrees and cook bubble burgers on them, and so they also don't understand that that grease pan, that drip pan, does not cover from front wall to back wall. If it did, the heat would never come up to the top of the grill. And so there's a gap on the back and there's a gap on the front. And if you put bacon, if you put hamburgers, if you put anything that's going to drip grease over that gap on the front and over that gap in the bottom, then the grease is not going to drip onto the grease pan and into your grease can. It's dripping into the bottom of your grill where a live fire is. And at that point, it's just a matter of time before that grease ignites. So that's number two of what's causing these grease fires. People don't understand that there is a live flame under there at all times, and that there is a gap in the front and back. And if you put greasy meat, it's going to drip over those gaps. It's going to drip into the bottom of your grill. Number one, you've got a mess. Number two, you've got a grease fire. That's number two. Number three, and I've said it 100 times, and I've even said it in some of these groups, and people, I mean, they take offense to me saying it, but it's the truth. Number three, they don't clean the grills. I don't care what they say, that they're not cleaning the grills. And the first question that they say after a grease fire, I mean, ask Harley, well, I clean it. I clean it. Well, their definition of cleaning their grill and my definition of cleaning a grill is totally different. I've got 7, 8 grills out there. I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 grills out there. Some of these guys have one grill, and their excuse is, well, I don't have time to, it takes up too much time to clean that grill. One guy even said, that's 10 minutes that he'll never get back. Okay, well, you got one grill, dude. I've got 7 or 8 grills out there, and every single one of them are cleaner than most of the guys of pictures that I see that they're posting in these groups. I'd be totally embarrassed to make a video with some of these guys' grills that they are showing pictures of. I mean, that's the truth. And that's food that you're cooking meals on that you're going to feed to your family. Now, granted, it could look like a turd on the outside and be clean on the inside. And if you're good with that, that's okay. But for me, it's just a matter of pride, and it takes 5 minutes to wipe it down. I literally have some cleaner out there in my little cabinet on the back porch with a rag. And before or after I do a cook, I spray it down and I wipe it off, and that's it. It takes literally 5 minutes. And so, but if you do that every time, it never gets really grimy. And so you don't have to spend an hour scrubbing. And, but these guys, but what we're talking about is internal cleaning, vacuuming it out, making sure that grease isn't dripping down into the bottom. And if it does, you've got to clean that grease out. Making sure that the trough that your grease drips into, no matter what brand you have, making sure that that's clean. Yeah, you've got to scrape some of that. Scrape it down in through the hole that drips into your drip can. Get all of that clean. And like I said, I've had 8 pellet grills. I've still got 4, and I almost had one grease fire. I'm trying to think what I was cooking. I think I was trying to reverse sear something, or it might have been a pizza. But I had it fired up all the way to 500 degrees. And I almost had a grease fire because of the grease trough. I had not cleaned the grease trough. My fault. So that's my long-winded excuse or reasoning behind all of these grease fires that people are having with pellet grills. Listen, if number one, if you understand, if you've done your homework and you know what a flame out is, and you know what to do when you do have a flame out, you're not going to have any issues. I've had 2 flame outs before. I knew exactly what to do. Okay, but if these guys haven't done their research and they don't know what a flame out is, they'll even ask on these Facebook groups, why did this happen? Well, the first thing that I think about is you should already know what happened. If you don't know what happened, then you shouldn't have bought a pellet grill. If you don't know where the brake is, then you don't belong in a car with a driver's license. That's just the way I see it. So if you're having problems with pellet grills, but it's simply because of your ignorance, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but that's what it is. The lack of knowledge about a certain thing is the definition of ignorance. And if you're having problems with pellet grills because of your ignorance, because you didn't do your homework, then that's not the pellet grill's fault. That's on you. And that's just the way I see it.
Got Ray in the house.
Ray, good to have you, brother. Robert, good to have you. And I probably missed a lot of stuff while I was talking.
Elvin's been talking to Harley. Rhonda said Matt's got to clean the grill the weekend.
And listen, let me hit on this too, because it's I love these comments. I'm in a Grilla Grill pellet group. I'm in Traeger pellet groups. I'm in RecTech pellet groups, and I love it because if a guy in a Grilla Grill group has a problem, there's always going to be a RecTech guy that chimes in and says, "I told you should have bought a RecTech." Well, then if a RecTech guy has a problem, somebody from Traeger is going to chime in and tell him, "I told you should have bought a Traeger." And then Traeger has a problem, somebody from Grilla Grills is going to tell him, "You should have bought a Grilla Grill, Green Mountain Grill, whatever." I don't care what pellet grill you have. The potential for all of these issues are there on any brand of pellet grill. Look on all these groups. Every single group, RecTech, Grilla Grill, Traeger, Green Mountain Grills, Yoder, I don't care what brand. Somebody in that group has had a problem controlling temps with their controller. Somebody has had a flame out. Somebody has had a back burn, and somebody has had a grease fire. And I don't care what brand. Okay, the common denominator for all that is the user. And there are guys that have had, Traeger is the oldest pellet grill. There are guys that still have some of the old Traegers, have had them 20 years. And those guys have never had a problem. So I just think it has a lot to do with the user. That's my opinion. That's not to say that some people, and I'm going to say 25%, are not having legitimate problems with their grills. But in my opinion, 75% is because of the user. Let me add one more deal in there, and that is they just got to relax. It's okay if you have your grill set to 300 degrees and on startup it goes to 340. It's all right. Again, it's not an electric burner. It's not a gas grill. It is building a fire. Any human being, I want them to build a fire and try to get it to a certain temperature, and then I want you to stop the heat coming from that fire. It's almost impossible. So it's going to overshoot a little bit. Go grab you a beer and chill out, turn on some music, and it's going to calm back down, and it's going to average out to the temp that you've got it set at. No big deal. Just relax.
Nice job, Mark.
So there you go. That's my opinions of grease fires and other issues with pellet grills. If you've got any ideas or solutions or reasons for all this stuff that's going on with the pellet grills, chime in and let us know as well. Um, maybe I've missed something. People think the grill is the best. Don't bash other grills if you don't own one. And that's, and I've said it before, Donald, and welcome to the weekly show. Good to have you. People have to justify their purchase by raving about what they bought and bashing what everybody else bought. They can't just say, "Hey, I bought a Grilla Grill, blah blah blah," but um, that Louisiana looks like it's a great one too, or whatever. They can't do that. It's like elementary school children fighting over Lincoln logs. It's childish mess.
Chad.
Made country style ribs last night, best I've ever had. That's awesome, man.
Mark's back.
Nothing like getting to your son's house and finding out he was able to fix the lawnmower without your help. Well, the good news is he fixed it without your help. The bad news is, well, it's probably not. But the good news is you missed me ranting a little bit. So both of those are good news. Okay, one more beer. Had a couple questions on my channel this week, and instead of giving long answers on there, I figured I would just answer them tonight on the Wednesday night show. He had a question about Pit Boss pellets. He found some on sale and it looked like a good deal, and asked me if I had any experience with Pit Boss pellets. And my answer is I do not have any experience with Pit Boss pellet. Maybe some guys on here do and can give some insight on some Pit Boss pellets. I've said before on the channel, I usually use Traeger pellets and Grilla Grill pellets. Just because Grilla Grill pellets, I can order 2 bags on their website and it's free shipping to the house if I order a sticker or something else like that. And I've got a pretty good connection with Traeger pellets, and so I use those as well. And don't freak out or anything, but I use those interchangeably. I can use those Grilla Grill pellets in the Traegers. It hadn't blown up yet. And I can use those Traeger pellets in the Grilla Grills, and it doesn't spit them back out. So it's all good. So I can do both. Harley says he was not a fan of the Pit Boss pellets. They're okay. Just seems they don't get as hot as other brands. But if you need pellets in a pinch, they burn. They bum. They burn. I actually saw some pellets. My local grocery store here, that's a no big name grocery store, just got some pellets in. Never heard of them before. I don't even know, country style pellets or Carolina pellets or something. Not a name brand pellet. They look really tiny, and the bag, every single bag had pinholes in the top, which in my opinion would probably let moisture in. And so I stayed away from those. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is find you a brand that you like and then just stick with it. Make sure you stay in front of your pellets so you don't run out. And then you don't have to go buy some cheap pellets that probably are going to get you into some trouble. It is so, Mark. It is so. What else? Oh, this is a good question now. This is a good question. I think I have talked about it before, but obviously it needs talking about again. And okay, one more beer asked what I do, how do I handle if I'm cooking on my pellet grill and I have a power outage? That's a great question. And it has happened to me before.
We had that a couple weeks ago.
Great question. And you guys let me know if you've experienced this as well. I'll tell you what I do. There's two different scenarios if you have a power outage. The first one is what happened to me the first time, which was the power went out and then it came right back on within a minute or two. So what did I do? Well, this goes back to doing your homework and knowing how the pellet grill works, knowing how the startup cycle works and all that, and the shutdown cycle, how all that works. So in the middle of my cook, the power goes off. So I automatically know, because the power's off, it's not pushing, the auger is still not pushing pellets into the burn pot. So I'm not going to have a situation like a flame out, to where the flame goes out but pellets are still filling up the fire pot. And then when it reignites, it's going to blow my lid off, and I'm going to have to film it and show everybody on Facebook. So I already knew that wasn't going to happen. The power's off, the auger's not working. Nothing is working in there. Okay. So whatever, CJ, how's it going, buddy? Whatever state that it was in when the power went off, that's the state that it's pretty much going to be in when it fires back up. Okay. So at that point, when the power comes back on, I just hit the start button again, start the startup process all over again. The hot rod is going to come back on. Whatever pellets are in there, it's going to ignite them. The fan's back on. Now the auger's working again. It's just like a normal startup for the most part. It started right back up. I dialed in the temperature back to what I had it set at, and it was a perfectly normal cook after that. So that's really not an issue. The issue comes in when you have a power outage and it stays off for a while. Well, I mean, you're pretty much screwed at that point, because how are you going to finish cooking your meat? You know, if you've got a charcoal grill, then you're in business. If you got a Kamado, if you got a Weber kettle, if you got a Watchman stove, something like that, then you're still in business. Especially with the Watchman stove, because you got charcoal, you can use lump charcoal, you can use regular wood. A fire pit with a grill grate will work. So you can still finish your cook on something like that. If not, obviously you can't use your oven either, because that runs off electricity. So you're pretty much in bad shape. No answers for that. Here's another thing. If you see a storm coming, this happened a couple weeks ago. I think I even said it in the video because we were filming it, right?
Mm-mm.
I think we filmed one. I was actually out there at the end of the pool, and you could see a storm coming. But I knew, okay, I was cooking on the Silverbac, and I know for the Silverbac, the shutdown process lasts 5 minutes. I knew that I had more than 5 minutes before the storm got here, and I knew that I wanted to move my grill from out there under the back porch shelter. So I went out there, I shut it down with the meat still on it. It went through the proper shutdown process. I unplugged it, drug it under the back porch awning, plugged it back in, hit start, adjusted the temp back to where I had it set at, and as soon as it come back up to temp, it was a normal cook. So that's another way you can do it. If you have the time to do a proper shutdown on your grill, and you see weather is going to threaten your cook, and you have somewhere else you can move it to, you can go through that shutdown process, move it, plug it back in, start it back up, normal startup, and you're still good there as well. So there's a couple tips for you. Okay, one more beer. I hope that helps out as well. He also asked, I think Brandy said he also asked what my favorite beer was for grilling. That's a pretty good question. If I have the time, and if I'm just not consuming a lot of beer, which is more the case during the summertime, If I'm just looking for a good beer to have with a meal, I like craft beers, whether it's a porter, whether it's a stout, whether it's a IPA. I like all those types of beers. I like Stone Brewing Company. They make a lot of great beers. I like Sam Adams. Those kinds of beers. However, with us trying to stay on keto, I have started drinking more of the Michelob Ultras just because they're low in carbs, and then the Michelob Ultra limes. The only problem with Michelob Ultra limes, or any lime really, I used to drink Bud Light limes, is after 100 of them, then I've got pretty bad heartburn. And so over the past couple of days, I have switched to some, and I know I'm going to catch flack for this. Mike Tabor, go ahead, Mike. Mike Tabor, get your keyboard ready. But I have actually switched to some spiked seltzer water. No grams of sugar, like no calories, but still packs a little punch, and it doesn't give me heartburn. So you just have to adjust, You just have to adjust. So that kind of covers all of the questions from, okay, one more beer.
Tonight.
Good stuff.
Harley.
By the way, my brother is the one that introduced me to the seltzer water.
Mm-hmm.
So before he starts all that BS, he's the one that got me to looking at the seltzer water.
What was it called? Something.
White Claw.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday.
Yeah, that was the brand that Harley brought down. He even left some in my cooler. I'll give you something to try. It's good stuff, man. Yeah, lies and scandals. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like something that air.
Yeah. Mike Tabor, I do have your address as well. Yeah. Now I've lost some goat points. I'll get the whiskey out here in a minute and make up for it.
He's gonna make up for it when we go to Mexico.
True. Very true.
Yeah. I'm getting go see the tequila man. We
do have a tequila man down there that flavors his own tequila, and some of the stuff, he's got a passion fruit tequila is the goat.
Yeah.
Really good. The only bad part is we tasted it at 10:30 that morning, and we got the morning started right.
That wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. We may have to bring back some. It was kind of expensive, but it'd be worth it. All right, got a question for you guys. Question of the night. If someone asked you what is the best starter grill that they should purchase, their first grill, and I know what 90% of you guys are going to say, but listen to the second part of the question. Someone asks you, I'm fixing to buy my first grill. What would you recommend for my first grill? And then I want to know why you think that's a great first grill. And I'm not even going to tell you to go. I want to start it because I've seen it 900 times again this week. Somebody asks a question and then they say, and go.
Oh yeah, Mike had a question. I don't know if he was.
What are you, 5?
I don't know if he was being serious or not.
6? He probably wasn't being serious.
What is your startup process if the hopper ran dry halfway through?
I've never had that happen, Mike. I'm always stirring my pellets, so I know the level. Let's see here. Let me think about that. If your pellets run dry, which means there's no more pellets in the fire pot, then it's just going to be a normal startup. You're going to pour more pellets in there, and you're going to start up just like normal. There's no threat of like a like a flame out type situation where your fire pot has overflowed because you don't have any pellets. So that's not a danger. Now, I will say this, it's not going to be an actual normal startup because your auger is also going to be out. So you're going to have to prime that auger. So you're probably, it depends on what grill you have. Like the new Traegers, there's an actual prime the auger setting to where you can hit that and it primes the auger without the fan or the hot rod turning on. That's an awesome feature. So that's a big help in that situation. For like the Grilla Silverbac, you're probably going to have to go through two startup processes. The first one is going to be to prime your auger. And if that doesn't get it started, then you're going to want to shut it down, wait about a minute or so, and then do the startup process again. That's going to start that hot rod back up and get everything started. So if you run out of pellets from your hopper, you're going to have to pour new pellets in there, but you're going to have to prime that auger before you get a good start again. So that is a good question. I can't believe it, but it's a good question from Mike.
That he'll just bring back passion.
Yeah.
Electric hibachi.
Electric hibachi.
Dave C said, the grill your wife liked to cook on.
John says, yes, Mike, I had my tiny hopper run dry. It's a mess. It is a mess, but if you just think about the process, it's not as difficult as it sounds. The grill your wife likes to cook on. That's a good choice, Dave. A charcoal grill so they can learn fire and temp management. Which charcoal grill would you recommend, Harley?
John, he's new.
John, and I don't know how to say that last part, so I'm not even going to try. John M., welcome. My very first grill, Weber kettle. Quality of the product and ease of use. John, that's a great answer. Eddie, Weber kettle. Easy vent system. Can smoke and grill. Budget friendly. Holds up great in the weather due to ceramic coating. Eddie, that's a great answer. That's the answer I was looking for. And I'm going to tell you why. Dave C., I made the mistake of starting to cook. Now I get home after 16 hours at work and my wife is looking at me asking what's for dinner. So your first grill should be one your wife likes to cook on. Very true, Dave. Very true. That is a great idea and prime cycle. I should have bought the Cadillac, not the Pinto. Harley says a kettle. Real Weber kettle. Okay. I agree with you guys about the Weber kettle. But here's why I asked, why would you say that? Because there was a guy that was on one of these groups, and it was really a pellet grill group. And one of the guys was having problems with his pellet grill, and this guy just starts going ballistic about everybody should have owned a Weber kettle. And
that's how you say his name.
Man, and they run it together.
Man and they.
Man and they. Man and they. I got to go back and look at this.
See?
John Manday. John Manday. I like it. John Manday. I like it, John. Mike Tabor, versatility. Besides Weber, customer service is great. Real close. Hey, I tried. And Eddie Hanks pretty much hit it on the head, and that's the answer I would give. But the answer that I heard from Weber kettle owners, a lot of Weber kettle owners, not all, looks like I have most of the great ones in here. And I'm not surprised. But for what I heard for years from Weber kettle owners was because you've got to have skill to operate that Weber kettle. I mean, if you dial in a Weber kettle, that's the holy grail. You can operate any grill of any caliber because you know how to operate a Weber kettle. And that is far from the truth because I have owned a Weber kettle, and that's one of the simplest, easiest grills I've ever had. And so it's not, and again, that's why I didn't own a Weber kettle it took me 46 years to own my first Weber kettle. The reason had nothing to do with Weber. It had to do with the Weber kettle owners and their arrogance and their, well, you don't even know how to grill if you don't own Weber kettle. There's nothing great about a Weber kettle except the Weber kettle itself. It's a great design, just like Eddie said, easy vent system. It is an easy vent system. That bottom vent, you can put a mark with a magic marker right there and keep it on there and never change it again. You can break the handle off and never touch it again. And you can do all of your adjustments with that top vent. There's the mystery. It's over. I was reading that on that. And then he says you can smoke and you can grill. Low and slow, high temp. You can do both. Budget friendly from the simplest design. And now they make some Weber kettles that are $500, $600. One's like, I don't know, $1,200 or something. Holds up great in the weather. All those things are true. But the easy vent system, some of these guys that are in these Weber kettle groups, you're never going to hear them say anything about easy. Man, you master that thing, you're the goat of all, you're a pit master. And that aggravates me because that's one of the easiest grills that I've ever had. So easy that it was kind of boring and I don't own it anymore. I gave it away. I don't have a Weber kettle anymore. Besides, Weber customer service is great. It is great. It is great. The Weber company, got no problem with. I love them. When my Weber kettle came in, as a matter of fact, the grill grate, I don't know how it happened, but I bought a Weber Master Touch. We all know the Weber Master Touch is round, but my grill grate was shaped like a football. So I called them. They didn't even ask any questions of how it happened or anything. Well, we'll get you another one out. And 2 days later, I had a new grill grate, and it was round, and it fit perfectly, and they were great. So I think it is a great starter grill. I think it gives you practice with temp management, airflow, adjusting the airflow to get the temp management, the temp that you want. Just like I was instructing in the Kamado Joe video today, same exact thing. That bottom vent on the Kamado Joe, once it gets going, I put it about a thumb's width, about an inch wide, and that's about where I leave it. I do all my adjustments on top. Same thing with a Weber kettle. Kind of like the RecTech guys. That's why I said versatility. Exactly. Was I able to have 5 comments in a row? Wake up, people. Hey, you're on the ball tonight, Mike. You're on the ball. We got 22 in the house. Only 15 thumbs up, Mike. What's up with that? I've lulled them to sleep. So that was pretty good. I also tried Stephen Manis's B&B Texas style, the B&B lump charcoal today. Worked great. I mean, no complaints at all. I like the consistency of the size of the lump. I think it's pretty good, and I think I'll probably be looking for a source to get that from. So good stuff. Again, thank you, Stephen Manis, for the lump charcoal. And again, if you didn't hear at the beginning of the show, Stephen Manis was able to get it approved, and the call for his pancreas transplant, he's on the way, should be on the way to the hospital. If not, Stephen, get your butt in the car, get to the hospital, and he's going to have that surgery tonight.
He's already there.
So prayers for him. So good stuff there.
And Vandy's putting the hammer down on Michigan.
Well, good.
Vandy's going to be
Vandy.
College World Series
Oh, don't say that.
And
Easy. It's only the bottom of the fourth.
oh, we got.
Oh.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
It's in the
Well.
bag.
Oh God.
Should have wore my Vandy shirt tonight.
It's in the bag there. Michigan's fixing to start hitting dingers.
Not happening.
Off the stop sign on the other corner. Absolutely. That is a blessing. And it was today's his birthday as well, so I couldn't think of a better birthday present than that. So good stuff there. And that's about all I got, guys. Again, no Sunday morning show this week or next week, unless Harley wants to volunteer to do it. And then you guys can have a Sunday morning show with Harley. Yeah, Harley will put you in timeout if you start getting too cocky there, Mike. My boss is a Michigan guy. You hadn't quit yet, Mike? I'd have to quit.
Well, they saw a picture last night they've never seen before, so that brought them to game 3. Vandy's going to take it back to Nashville.
Yeah, they're liable to have a big party, and we're going that way tomorrow.
That's all right. We'll go join them. Oh, he's going to be in Atlanta this weekend.
Oh, that's right. Harley's cooking, doing a cook Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday.
I heard about Sandy eating all the bacon the other night.
That bacon was off the chain.
Yeah, I didn't even get offered any.
What?
I didn't get offered any of that bacon.
You got to tune in to Jus Piddlin BBQ.
Oh, I was. I was in here watching it. Still didn't get offered any bacon. Buckeyes
We just tell them Buckeyes are better. That's even worse. Brandy watches all those teams, and if it's not SEC, I don't get into it a whole lot. Can you do a pork steak cook video? I didn't see one on the channel, and that's exactly right. I don't have a pork steak video, and that's a great. I actually did some pork steaks a while back. I don't even remember what I cooked them on, but that's a good suggestion, Rick. Thank you for that, and I will do that. I will do that here soon, and I can just get one from Mike, so I can just get a pork butt and get him to cut it. Get him to cut it for me. So you can't beat bacon. Cannot beat bacon.
I just like watching a good team, just good sports.
That's why I stay in the SEC, babe.
I know, but I mean, if it's a good game, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, if it's close, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, I can't help it.
What bothers me, and again, I coached football and baseball for 15 years. What bothers me is these teams that, you got a game and 2 teams play, and the score ends up 63-58 or something. I mean, do you not have a defensive coordinator? Do you not practice defense? That's just not exciting to me. That's not exciting to me. What temp you would cook it to? Pork steak. I guess it would depend on, Rick, what the end result I would want. So, and by that I mean this. Like you've heard me talk about my my pork loins. For a long time, if I want to slice them for sandwiches, then I'll cook them to about 170, 165, 170, and then I'll pull them off, let them rest, and then slice them thin. And you've got pork loin sandwiches or something like that, or just slices. You don't have to make sandwiches with it. But if I want kind of fall apart, tender, almost a pork butt consistency, then Edward Sister's Hands, my second favorite name. I love it. If I could only get Rick James to come back, that would be amazing. But if I want that pull apart consistency with my pork loins, then I'll cook it to 205 or so, and I'll even wrap it, may even wrap it just like a pork butt. Same thing with this pork steak. If I want to cook it, say like a breakfast ham steak, a ham steak, then I could cook it like that and kind of eat it the same way. If I wanted it more tender, I might even cook it like you would do a rib, to where you cook it, you smoke it for first little while. I'm not going to say 3 hours because that would be too long. It'd be dry. But cook it maybe an hour, low temp smoke, and then put it in some foil, and then maybe put a little sauce or something in there, season it however you want, maybe some butter or something like that. Season it however you would do a rib, and then wrap it maybe for another 45 minutes to an hour, and then it's going to be nice, really tender, fall apart, stuff like that. So there's really no wrong answer. You know what I mean? I don't know. So there's different possibilities, and there's really not a wrong answer as long as you like the outcome, So I'll see if I can get some pork steaks and do a video on that and see what you think about it.
Mike's got another question.
How would you like to cook them, Rick? And I'll see if I can do them that way. Do you have your own recipe for a butt or rib rub, or do you prefer to just buy them? That's a good question, Mike. I guess about a year ago I started making my own rub, and it was pretty much the same thing for a while. But it ended up tasting, just because of the different seasonings that I used, it ended up being a really good fajita rub. And so even now when we do fajitas or chili or anything like that, I pretty much use that same basic seasoning profile, I guess. But now I've gotten so many, I'm being honest, I've gotten so many rubs sent to me. I've got a cabinet full in there. So there's no reason for me to make any, because I've got so many in there. So
you might mix.
Now sometimes, yeah, that's true. Sometimes I'll mix rubs that I have that are store-bought or that are made by rub companies. I'll mix them together. We love a good coffee rub. Traeger's coffee rub is really good. Fire and Flavor coffee rub is really good. Midnight Espresso from Tango Spice Company, really good. So we like those, but then we might like something else. So for example, yesterday, let's see, was it yesterday? Yesterday, day before yesterday, I cooked something. It was the chicken. We cooked chicken breasts.
No,
we cooked chicken legs.
That was Sunday.
We cooked chicken wings, I think. But for all of that, I used a combination of a coffee rub and a summer shandy type rub that's got some lemon zest in it. And so those different combinations gives you different profiles. So I kind of mix and match sometimes. But as of right now, I've got so many in the cabinet that I want to try to use those up too.
Austin, don't work too hard, and thanks.
Thank you, Austin. I still say one of the best rubs that I've ever had. Now I'll say this too. Let me go back. And I just started using it. Y'all saw the other night with that bacon. The Traeger Big Game Rub is excellent. It's got some, I think, because I looked at it today, it looks like it has some of that turbinado sugar in it. So it's got a little sweetness to it, but it's really good. Probably not keto friendly at all, but it's really good. But also that, and I've said it before, the honey hog from Meat Church, I could eat that stuff with a spoon. The honey hog hot is really good as well. Um, so a lot of that stuff is usually what I use now, just because I have so much of it. So
Eddie, I agree with you talking about College World Series.
Yeah, and Eddie, when you get into these series too, a lot of it comes down to what pitchers you have left, and I think that's what's getting Michigan right now is they've got really two really good pitchers, and then they kind of fall off from there.
They used like 5 last night.
Yeah, and so they got in trouble last night and used a lot of them, and so now I think they're just in trouble with their pitching. In that series, many times, it's the whoever's got the best pitching staff they're going to carry you through, and I think that's what's happening with this game. I think Michigan's just out of pitching.
Rhonda said she's got to turn you down. Mac is blasting the TV to watch the debate.
What in the world? A debate? Mac will be blowing up Facebook over that debate. When they say coffee rub, does that mean coffee grounds or freeze dried, like Taster's Choice instant coffee? Mike, I'm assuming that is actual coffee grounds. I'm assuming. And I've been meaning to make my own coffee rub using some iron bean coffee. I just haven't done it yet, but I would like to do that. I've never heard you even. I didn't even know y'all made a big game rub. He didn't ever tell me anything. How were the rubs that came with the pit barrel cooker? They were pretty good, but not really my favorite. They tasted more just like generic, seasoned salt type rubs, I guess. Nothing really fantastic, I guess. So I haven't really used them anymore. I think, just being honest, there's a lot of other better rubs out there. But when you buy a grill and they send you some rubs, of course, there's nothing wrong with that either. So. Seen people rave about the PBC rubs. The ones that I got, now maybe they've changed them, but the ones that I got with the PBC, they were okay. Yeah, the big game rub, it was all right, but nothing really set it apart, from any other basic rub, in my opinion. The big game rub that Harley's got it's different. The sweetness that was in that big game rub, I didn't expect. I thought the big game rub was going to be salt and pepperish, with something else thrown in there, maybe some chili powder or something. But I didn't expect the sweetness in a big game rub, but I really like it. So it was pretty good. I know what I tried the big game rub on. We did salmon. I had a big salmon fillet the other night, and I used that big game rub on it just because of the sweetness. Before I started keto, if I had gotten a big slab of salmon like that, I would have used some compound butter, maybe some honey with a honey glaze, honey bourbon glaze. But I tried to knock down some of that sweetness, but still wanted a little bit. So I used it with the big game rub, and it turned out great. Pit Bell Jr. is going to be really good. Pit Bell Jr. is going to be really good and versatile because you're going to be able to take it. You're going to be able to take it to other, tailgating and that kind of thing, which you can, the full size pit barrel cooker, but you got to love that damn student loan forgiveness thing. I didn't even go to college. Well, they want me to pay for the other people. Everything's for free now. Everything's for free. Free health care, free education, free cell phones, free everything. Just make everything free. You have used Malcolm Rub? Yes, I have. How are they? I'll tell you this: the barbecue rub hot. The hot part. You know how some rubs that have hot on them. I mean, they've got a little spice to them, but they're not hot. Do not take the words hot on Malcolm Reed's the barbecue rub lightly because that thing is hot, pretty hot. I mean, it's not like burn up, you can't eat it hot, but it's one of the hotter rubs that I've ever had. The regular barbecue rub, the barbecue rub, is good. It's good. Uh, it's good as the only one that I haven't had is his just his SPG. I haven't had that, but I've just had his two the barbecue rubs, and they're good. Everything is free except from bone sucking sauce rub is great also. I've seen that, and they sell that a lot in Lowe's, and I've almost picked some of that up several times, and I've never picked that up. Uh, but that looks really good. Now the free beer I could go for. I could go for that. Now I tell you something else too. His sauces, I got the vinegar sauce and the regular sauce. I think it's just called the barbecue sauce. The vinegar sauce was a little weird, and I say it's weird. It was good, but it's not. My mama at her barbecue restaurant, she made a vinegar-based sauce. It was a vinegar slash mustard sauce. That's what I expected from a vinegar sauce, but it was kind of like his vinegar sauce is kind of like almost a Sweet Baby Ray's with vinegar in it or something. It was kind of sweet, but then kind of tangy. And maybe it was just because that's something I didn't expect. But his other barbecue sauce was really good. Uh, I would definitely get that again. That was good stuff. What do I think about the Argentinian style grills? They can be expensive. Is the wood cost to fuel the grill worth the expense? I'm thinking about building one. Um, to be honest with you, I'm not really that familiar with those Argentinian style grills. Let me look it up real quick. Argentinian style grill. I can tell you that it's probably not going to show up in. So basically it's a braai, the braai style like Australia and that kind of thing. It's kind of like a Santa Maria style grill. I mean, I like those. I think they're cool, and I think they're pretty versatile simply because you can raise and lower that grate, and I'm not. Yeah, I don't know about the PBR. Um, but the Argent, if that's what you're talking about, it's it's more like a Santa Maria style grill, and you've got some that it looks like they're just on spits. You just build a fire basically on the ground, and the animal, the meat, kind of leans over the hot coals. That's pretty cool too. I love any kind of different style cooking. I'll be honest with you. I like trying all kind of stuff, different kinds of grills and different ways of cooking meats and that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Santa Maria style. I like that. I like that a lot. And I like it because it's versatile. And instead of having to change the fire, you can just change the level of cooking, and you've got a different level of heat. I like that. So I'm a fan of those. John Woo, I agree with you 100%. The ability to raise and lower the grading system seems pretty damn nice. I agree with you 100%. I like that because if you got a stationary grill grate, then you've got to change your coals or your flame, whatever you're using for a heat source. You've got to change that. In my opinion, it's a lot easier to raise or lower the grill grate than it is to change your heat source. So I like those. Sounds like my neighbors are shelling the neighborhood tonight. I guess they don't have a calendar. So probably early 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll be going on at Uncle Dunphy's.
Oh, I'm sure. And
it'll be there. We'll be there a week before.
And yeah, in my hometown in Tennessee, where we're going, they start 4th of July like now. And I mean, it looks like they've had a confetti parade in my aunt and uncle's driveway by the next door neighbor for all the paper from the fireworks that they shoot off. They make a Santa Maria adapter for the Weber Smoky Mountain. They do, and I have seen that. That's pretty cool. Jimmy DeResta, I love him, man. That guy, recent grill build. I'm gonna have to check that out because his stuff, he can make anything out of anything. He's probably one of the most talented guys I've ever seen. Really cool dude.
Do you know him? You can tell a boy from Gallatin, but you can't tell him much.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But it's still not as bad as Hendersonville. Good stuff. My favorite sauce is Sous Vide Louisiana style honey barbecue sauce. Available online from Sous Vide Honey. How about that? I didn't even know they made barbecue sauce. Hermitage. I hear you. Good stuff. I love that. I love that area. I'm ready to get up there. You know, once we get past Chattanooga and up into the mountains around Mont Eagle and all that, Manchester, that's home. I mean, love that area. Love that area. Hopefully for too long, we'll be maybe back up that way. Maybe.
Jus Piddlin in Tennessee.
We may have to, Mike Tabor, I might need your help.
Mr. Mark.
Mark, good to have you tonight. Good to have you tonight. Mike Tabor might need your help if we move the headquarters up to the mountains.
About 4 years.
3 or 4. 3 or 4.
Probably gonna be closer to 4.
All right, guys, that's about it. Hour and 20 minutes. Still got 22 on here. Mr. Mark, I hate to go ahead and run on you since you just got in here. Oh, by the way, Mr. Mark, if you know Stephen Manis, he's getting his pancreas transplant probably as we speak. Mm-hmm. So he got the news today and he's getting it done this afternoon. So that's good news for him. Have you and Brandy ever been out west? Colorado, Wyoming, etc.?
Not together.
Not together. When I was in the Marine Corps, obviously I was stationed in San Diego And I flew into Salt Lake City a couple times. I flew into Denver a couple times, that kind of thing, but never. I'd love here's my ideal place. Ideal place, 100 acres. Okay. Our little house right in the middle of the 100 acres. Big wall. I'm going to build the wall, a big wall, all the way around it, and we're going to build it. I might even get Mexico to pay for it. Big wall around it to keep all the stupid people out. Antelopes, buffalo, moose, elk, whatever they have there, all of it. And just sit out on my front porch with some iron bean coffee in my Jus Piddlin coffee mug. And just, I could even do the show from out there.
No.
Beautiful.
I'm not living where it's 20 foot of snow every time I turn around.
Not every part of Colorado has snow.
I've been to Colorado, but
love it.
No.
Wyoming.
Mm-mm.
Turn back into old cowboy. Get me some spurs. Love it, man. Love it.
Thanks, Eddie. We're taking one of our children, one of our boys, and his girlfriend with us. They both graduated high school this past year, so Brendan's never been to Nashville, so we're going to take him to Nashville.
Mike, I think you should just let people in and help themselves.
We will never live in Colorado. Never. We may go visit. We'll never live.
Once you visit, you might change your mind.
No, I've already visited there.
Not with me, though.
Oh, I don't care.
I bring the ambiance.
No. We'll go to Tennessee, and that's about as far north as I'm going to live. I'll visit anywhere. Edward Sisterhands. More seldom.
Home on the range. Love it. Eddie, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, guys, we're going to get off of here. I've still got to post the visors. If you didn't see them, here's the visors. Mango. Boom.
Justin's here.
Justin, good to have you, man.
Silverbac and can't be here tonight.
Orange. Kelly Green.
Adios.
Driftwood. It kind of reminds me of a olive drab / dark khaki. I don't know.
Justin, you don't have to. You and your buddy have a good time.
Justin, thank you, brother.
No Sunday show.
No Sunday show for 2 weeks. We'll have an epic party on Sunday morning in 3 weeks. So I'll have these on the website in the morning. So if you like those, but they won't ship until Monday. Keep that in mind. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Dave C., thank you very much, man. Thank you so much. Maybe I'll shoot a little bit live. We're going to plan on going to Nashville Saturday. Mm-hmm. So I might do a little live, impromptu live stream. The only problem is when I do live on my phone, I can never figure out how to cut it off. I'll do some research on that. So, but we're going to do that. So maybe I'll do a little live from a barbecue joint if we go to a barbecue joint up there in Nashville or something. So, but anyway, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us so long. Really appreciate you. Prayers for Stephen and congratulations on his good news and happy birthday to him. And until next time, we will be piddling. See you guys.